here, John, in the offseason. Let's go right to that breaking news, John. We'll spend a little time here talking about Jake Elliott. I agree with what you said to Andrew. We maybe don't talk about special teams enough, Johnny Mac, and I think maybe that's not just me and you. I think that might be an NFL world thing as a whole. But I wonder, John, are the Eagles not putting enough stock in this? I mean, if you think about the game, and I understand there are people out there who are like, kickers aren't football players, kicker don't matter. Kickers have, I mean, you could argue they're worth 7 to 10 points per NFL game. I mean, that's certainly more impactful than a backup quarterback is, on any given week. I think the Eagles should put more stock in this, and I think Jake Elliott's a big concern. They've reworked the contract. What do you make of the reworking of it, and just how the Eagles should handle this kicker situation moving forward?
Well, I think, and I think we talk about special teams more than anybody. Just in general, though, people don't seem to care about it, even though it's the third phase. But and it's important, and you can win and lose games. You look at Jordan Davis blocking a kick to beat the LA Rams. You look at, Brandon Aubrey, what he brings to the Cowboys. You talk about, we were talking about awful quarterback situations. I think a lot of people don't realize that Minnesota was over 500 last year, in large part because of their kicker. He made like 10 field goals over 50 yards. He was automatic. Alabama kid, so you should be thrilled by.
Was it Will Reichard? Is that who?
Yeah,
it was? Yeah.
Will the Thrill. He was second team All Pro, I believe. Might have been first team. He actually had a better season than even Aubrey from long range. But yeah, they're very important. And when you have guys, and that specifically is where Jake has declined. The 50 plus, where he had this stretch of 3 years where he's 18 of 21. He's kind of fallen off a cliff from 50 plus. And that's where you really need, especially in this era where guys are kicking it as well as they kick it. And remember, the Eagles haven't made the decision on long snapper. They could bring back Charlie Hewlett again. Maybe they will. But right now they don't have a long snapper. Braden Mann's back as the punter. I think they should have brought in competition, but he makes a lot of money for a kicker. And again, this is the weird dynamic of the NFL. Like, people want to say, well, 3.9 million isn't that much for a third quarterback. I got a lot of that when I questioned it. It's a hell of a lot when you look at it compared to the rest of the league. Now, 6 million, which is now 5 million, is a hell of a lot for a kicker, and that's the reason they're not moving on. That's the only reason.
I know, but if it's good for 7 to 10 points a game, like you just said, and they can get more wins, I mean, why not bite the bullet? They're willing to bite the bullet in other areas where it's impactful. I'm not saying
that's what I'm saying.
You
can't have it. You can't have it one way and then say it that, and then you're clutching your pearls because the kicker gets paid too much. If he's not helping you, I
would have moved on from Jake, John. I mean, I know you said, and maybe I'm wrong on this. I'd have to look at the data a little further. You said it's been down from his standard. Hasn't it been bottom of the league standard?
Oh yeah, he's near he's way down.
Right. So it's not just like, Jake's not playing to his normal standard. It's like Jake is one of the worst kickers in the league in the last 2 years.
Yeah, from long range. Yeah. Now he's still been rock solid from 40 in. Except, he's also had some issues with extra points, which obviously is 33 yards. And for some reason, he's had those issues. So, I mean, he was a great kicker in his prime, and he hasn't been a great kicker, and that's tough. How many times do I say the NFL moves fast? That's tough for people to realize. And, what they did is basically guaranteed he's going to be here by doing what they did with his contract. 6 million to 5 million, but all of it guaranteed. So he's back. He's the kicker. And I think there should have been competition. I don't think there's any question there should have been competition.
He's been like a 70% kicker last couple of years? Is that what it is? Or is it?
Well, the issue, I don't have the numbers. I can look up the numbers, but he's been fine under 40, but that, that's those
But
kicks
that's
are
not that. Yeah, that's not where you win on the margins. I mean, the teams who are kicking the 58 yarders, the 56 yarders, those are the
exactly.
teams who are really getting the
And
advantage.
that's where he fell off a cliff. Now, last year was 20 of 27, so it's 74%. And, that's down from 2023 was his last big year when he was 93.8%, 30 of 32. But the issue is 50 plus. So, if you go and the number of 50 plus kicks exploded in the NFL because so many guys are making them. But if you go back, he was 3 of 3 from 50 plus in 2021. He is 5 of 6 in 2022. He was 7 of 8 in 2023. So over 3 years, he missed 2 kicks over 50 yards. In 2024, he was 1 of 7. In 2025, he was 4 of 8. So he's 5 of 15, 33.3% over the past 2 seasons. That's not good enough. The 3 seasons prior, he was 15 out of 17. And he's 5 out of 15 over the last 2 years. That's not good. Not good. And certainly to the point where
What do you do? I guess just the money is too big, so you got to just let it go.
well, I like I said, I mean, look, really, we're talking about 6 million is too big when we're talking now
Right.
again, there's a different thought process when it comes that's a lot of money for a kicker. There's
Right,
that
and then you have to get rid of it, eat some of it, get another kicker. You're probably looking at a
exactly.
$10 million deal.
But what it doesn't hurt to bring in competition. Maybe you bring in an undrafted kid as a rookie who's making nothing.
Yeah, who kicked
And
for the Rams after they got rid of their kicker halfway through the year last year?
yeah, the big kid.
Yeah, what was that? The thicker kicker they called him.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a nickname now for their kicker.
All
Our
right.
kicker is the stinky kicker right now. How's that?
Um, but I look, I think they should have brought in competition. And if and I'm not saying a veteran guy who's proven. I'm saying take the best kicker in college. Most kickers aren't getting drafted. Maybe 1 or 2 get drafted each year at the most. And there's some high level undrafted free agent kickers. Take that guy, take the best of those guys and let him compete. And then if he wins the job, all right, you got to eat 6 million bucks, whatever. So what? Then you got a cost effective guy who's kicking at a high level for 4 years, hopefully.
Right. This is what I struggle with because John, your explanation about the kicking stuff and the money makes complete sense. I mean, everything is not in a vacuum, and 6 million might sound like baby peanuts when you're talking about an edge rusher as compared to a kicker. But I love this comment by Rasmussen. He's like, meanwhile, there's Ojulari getting more money and he does nothing, and it's like that's where I'm like, why just keep Jake for the money when you can actually have an impact to your football team, by making the move? Now, there's no guarantee it works, but that's what I struggle with. There's dudes making more money than Jake that are doing nothing for the team. Jake's out there every day. Jake can account for 7 to 10 points a game, and then sometimes even more. I mean, that's pretty significant on a football game and a football team.
Well, this is another thing, again, lower level, but before this, and they haven't updated it yet at over the cap, obviously. So, the Eagles extended him at a high level for a kicker. So he's under contract. That it might have changed. Mike didn't report that, so I can't say it for certain. He might be a free agent next year. It tends to happen when you do these things. But he was under contract through 2028 because they extended him. And he's got 4 void years on top of that. So again, when you misevaluate or you extend somebody early who's playing at a high level and he no longer is playing at a high level, then you find this is the bad part of that. This is the bad part of void years and early extensions. This is the bad part of it. Now, people aren't going to recognize that because it's a kicker. But The Eagles, Jake Elliott is the Eagles kicker next season. Maybe he would have won a competition, but he's the Eagles next kicker, the kicker next season because of the contract he signed.
John, any idea off the top of your head? Maybe you'd look it up. What the margin, what the average, margin for victory is in the NFL?
I have no idea, but
What,
there's a
it's probably like
shitload of
3 points. I mean,
there's a
that's probably
shitload there's a shitload of one-score games. I mean, all the NFL does is send out stuff about there are 10 one-score games this week. That's what they love because
right. Close, yeah.
the witching hour, as Scott Hansen will call it on Red Zone, where everybody watches shitty football for 55, but it's exciting for the last 5 minutes and everybody
Right.
loses their mind. The whole goal of the league is parity. So yeah, there's a lot of close games and kickers matter a lot.
That's what I mean. I mean, I don't think that's something to just, oh, well, we're paying him 5, so let's just let him roll out there for the 3rd straight year of him potentially sucking. I mean, it's not just last year, John. It was 2 years now. It's 2 straight years that Jake Elliott is not the same player, not the same kicker.
Yeah.
The $1 million haircut is cool and all, but it's if he's still going to be the kicker, I don't see the advantage here other than you gain $1 million back. I think the cap hit went down by 240. Boy, they're really crunching numbers, aren't they? Aren't they, John?
Yeah. Well,
maybe is why they're not moving on from him in the first place. They're already in a tight crunch.
I'll be interested to see if he's a free agent next year. Instead, he'd been under contract through 2028. So maybe they tweak that to get him off the books quicker, but you still have him for this year. That's not a positive. If you're trying to get somebody off the books earlier, sometimes it works out. Worked out with Dallas Goedert last year. They wiped out his contract and, he was going to be a free agent this year. They wiped out part of Landon Dickerson. It's down to 2 years. So they keep doing this, and that's a signal that things aren't going the way we planned. So for all the love you give Howie with these void years and all fitting all this and creating cap space, this is the negative side when it doesn't work out.
No doubt about it. Interesting stuff there with Jake Elliott, but that's the latest. They just reworked the contract. They lowered the